So let me ask you a question. What if you could get all the power of a Microsoft SQL Server database running right on Google Cloud, but, and this is the important part, without having to pay for a Microsoft license? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to dig into. We're talking about how you can deploy a powerful, secure, and always patched SQL Server for your next big project and do it completely license-free. Let's jump right in.
All right, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about the usual headaches that come with deploying a database. Then, we'll get to the good stuff, how Google Cloud offers SQL Server license-free. We'll clear up the difference between the developer and Express editions, show you how they're kept secure, and then we'll walk through how you can actually get them up and running, either with a single click or by using code.
Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the problem we're trying to solve. Because as anyone who's ever had to set up a database knows, it is definitely not always a walk in the park.
Does this feel familiar? You've got this amazing idea for an app. You know you need something solid like SQL Server to back it up. But, your heart just sinks a little thinking about all the setup, the patching, the security configs, and of course the cost.
Yeah, these are the usual suspects, right? You've got those really high license costs just eating away at your budget. You're stuck doing manual patching for both the operating system and the database itself. And then you spend what feels like forever configuring security and just trying to keep up with all the latest vulnerabilities. It's like a full-time job before you've even written one line of your app's code.
But what if there was a much, much better way? This is where the Google Cloud Marketplace just completely changes the game.
You heard that right. You can deploy and run Microsoft SQL Server on Google Cloud Platform and pay exactly $0 for the actual SQL Server license. This is the big takeaway here. You get the database engine you already know, the one you trust, but without that traditional, heavy enterprise price tag hanging off it.
I mean, just look at the difference here. The old way is this long, manual slog of installs, configurations, and patching. The GCP Marketplace way, it's completely streamlined. You're not installing a thing yourself. You're just deploying a pre-configured, pre-patched virtual machine image that is ready to go in minutes, with all the security best practices already baked right in. The time you save? It's just massive.
Okay, so license-free sounds amazing, I get it. But which version should you actually use? Let's break down the two main choices you have, Developer and Express.
This table lays it out perfectly. Think of SQL Server Developer on the left as your fully loaded workshop. It gives you every single feature of the top-of-the-line Enterprise Edition for free as long as you're just using it for development and testing. Then on the right, you have SQL Server Express. This is your go-to for smaller production apps. It's also free, but for production use, with the main limitation being a 10 GB database size. So it's simple. Use Developer to build and test everything, and then use Express to launch your smaller projects out into the world.
Now, a free database is one thing, but can you really trust it? Is it actually secure? The answer is absolutely. Let's talk about the security that comes built in, right out of the box.
The most important thing to understand here is that you are not starting from a blank slate. You are deploying images that have already been hardened and made enterprise ready, which means you can feel confident about your security from the moment you click deploy.
And here's the proof. These images are constantly being updated with the latest SQL Server cumulative updates. We're talking CU13, CU20, you name it. And the most recent Windows security patches. So, for example, that vulnerability, CVE 2024-3080, was patched. They also apply security best practices automatically, like getting rid of the old SA user, and they even pre-configure the firewall rules for standard SQL ports like TCP 1433 for you. Think about the amount of time and headaches this saves you.
Okay, so you're seeing the benefits, you're ready to go. How do you actually get started? Well, the platform gives you options, which is great, because it can fit right into your personal workflow. If you're someone who just wants to get up and running as fast as humanly possible, there's the one-click deployment. You literally just go to the GCP Marketplace, you find the SQL Server image you want, whether it's Developer or Express, and you click Deploy. A few minutes later, your virtual machine is live. Then you can just RDP into it and connect with the good old SQL Server Management Studio you already know. It really is that simple.
But what about automation? What if you're a DevOps pro who basically lives in the command line and you want to manage everything as code?
Well, don't worry. There's a fantastic solution for you too.
So for anyone who might not be familiar, Terraform is a super popular infrastructure as code tool. Basically, instead of clicking around in a web interface, you define your entire cloud setup, your servers, your networks, your firewalls, the whole shebang in simple, readable code files. This makes your deployments repeatable, easy to track, and absolutely perfect for automation.
And this table shows you just how much control you get. Using the provided Terraform module, you can specify every little detail in your code. Your project ID, the exact machine size, the deployment zone, and, this is critical, the specific source image for the patched version of SQL Server you want. You can even toggle firewall rules, like opening up the SQL port with a simple true or false. It makes plugging a secure SQL Server into your automated pipelines incredibly easy. So, let's just wrap it all up. The barriers that used to exist for using a powerful enterprise-grade database, well, they've been brought way, way down. You get security that's pre-patched. You get the choice between a super easy UI deployment or powerful automation. And you get it all without that big, scary license fee. So I guess the only question left is, what are you going to build with it? Thanks for watching.